Hey guys, how's it going? In this video I'm going to explain to you how to make money at the Blackjack table at the Diamond Casino in GTA Online. Now, there's a simple strategy to use when playing Blackjack, and it's a very effective strategy, especially if you use it properly and don't let your emotions get in the way of your betting. Now, the strategy that I use is to make small bets most of the time. You don't want to be making big bets all of the time because you're gonna lose if you do that. So what I do is I recommend basically betting 1,000 at the high roller table with every hand, and then after you've lost a few hands, then what you do is you make a big bet, something like 10,000, and if you lose say 4 hands in a row or 5 hands in a row even, then on your next hand you should make like a 50k bet or max bet, and that way you're gonna increase your chances of winning. It might not be from the draw of the card chances, but I look at it in terms of statistics wise. Eventually the dealer's gonna have to lose a hand. It's just it's just reality. The dealer can't win a hand forever and ever. So yeah, this is a effective strategy to win money. Now another thing is when you're playing with other players.
Five. Fuck.
Like as you can see here, I'm playing with someone else,
Yes. Come on, baby.
and
20
yeah,
grand.
I went off the dealer going bust. So that's another thing you
Thanks
might
to
want
you,
to
bro. If you
stand.
weren't there, the dealer would have stopped, but she had to keep going. Because
You
you
want
were
to
on
stand
blackjack.
on something
So
like
the house had to
14.
try and beat your hand.
If the dealer's initial card is pretty low, like if it's the same or less than
I'll
yours,
go back to a small bit.
so say I'm on 15 and the dealer you can see has a 5, then it's worth standing. But if the dealer has a 10, it could be worth hitting. But yeah, then again it also does depend on the chance of it. Now with 3 people playing, you can sort of gauge
That is good.
the betting strategies that people use.
14.
It starts out we're all betting pretty small, but soon these guys start to bet bigger and bigger. And
After
I
it.
started this with
Nice.
about 20,000 chips, or maybe a little bit less. And using my
Nah, I'll
strategy,
stand because she's got to beat you guys there.
I'm able to walk away with about 80,000. So as you can see,
Look at those
we've all
perfect
put
pairs.
down some large bets, and I get perfect pairs in this. Well, not a perfect pair, but I get a pair in this hand. But there's no betting on pairs and perfect pairs in this blackjack for the DLC casino update.
Stand, don't hit.
And yeah, that guy was on something pretty high, so I told him to stand, but unfortunately he didn't. They all go bust, but I stand on 20, which is what everyone should do, obviously. And the dealer goes bust, luckily, so I end up earning 40 grand off that bet. On 20 grand, it was a 20 grand bet, so I get 40 grand back. Once again, these guys are doing some large bets. But if you do large bets, you can lose your chips quite fast. So be careful of doing large bets in a row.
Glitched out.
What happened was that the dealer glitched out and we weren't able to
I
play.
don't know about roulette. How's it working?
So then we go back to blackjack when it starts working again. And I use my strategy of placing small bets. So I'm on 10 and I get a
14.
4. Now this is a pretty poor situation to be in, but I recommend that you hit if you're on 14 and you see that the dealer has a 10, because there's not much else you can do, and it's very unlikely that the dealer has a 4 or lower. So you're better off on hitting. So now I stand on 17.
Oh.
And the dealer has an 18. So unfortunately we all lose that hand. Now I also recommend that when you're playing blackjack, you need to know when to stop. So you're going to say, okay, once I reach a certain amount, if I can get over, say, 100,000, starting with 20,000, then I'll be happy with that and I can stop playing for now. And you walk away from the table.
13, are you kidding me?
Because if you play indefinitely, you will lose. Especially if you start making big bets in a row. I don't recommend making a big bet, winning, and then making another big bet. For some reason, getting a feel of the RNG for the blackjack tables, it's just not worth. It's just not worth it. So as you can see, that was a very poor time to double down. For me, unluckily, I got a 2. But things turned around in the end. And I make a big bet. Because having lost that bet, I figure there's a good chance that I can win one
Probably
now.
will.
So unluckily I'm on a 13. That's a very terrible place to be, and you definitely want to hit when you're on a 13. I would recommend him to stand on a 15 with that much down. You can do riskier moves when you're betting less, it doesn't really matter. As you see, you would have stood on 15, so that was all a pretty big loss for us. So now I've lost 2 in a row, so I'm definitely feeling that this is it. I need to put a big bet down because I've lost so many. And for some reason the animation didn't play for the guy on the far end being dealt his first card. I don't know why. Now I'm not in a good position again, and I'm basically forced to hit on a 12 and just hope that I get, a good card. So he stands on 17. Deal has a 2. I luckily get an 8, which is what I needed. So then I make all my money back, and off 20 grand I'm sitting on 80 grand. Now I forgot about this part, I added it later on. This is me playing further on after those guys had left, and I'm up another 20 grand using this strategy. So as you can see, I've broke the 100k mark, and this is probably a good time to count your winnings. Now in this game I don't recommend cashing your chips out because chips are actually hard to get. You can only buy 50,000 of them at a time. So yeah, I hope you guys play around with these strategies I've shown you, and yeah, thanks very much for watching. And if you like my video and want to see more stuff like this, then please subscribe and like the video. So yeah, and that's me stopping off at 120 grand. Alright, thanks guys.